Hi, welcome to today's vlog where ain't nobody getting an intro because everybody's doing special Vlogmas intros and I don't have one. Also, I cried. I love how everyone's like, Black Friday haul, Vlogmas day 1, putting up the Christmas tree. And I'm like,
hi, I'm about to cry and talk about childhood trauma for the next 23 minutes. What's poppin'?
Merry Christmas. Hi, welcome. It was raining all day today and I was trying to do a TikTok related video because TikTok is literally taking over my life. And that's just like what I wanted to do today. And then we went to this little Asian market and my fiance was so gassy. Just literally gassing up the entire place. It was raining outside.
Is that why you cried?
Yes. And so I'm like,
wow, life is emotional.
honestly, it also has to do with the fact that a lot of you guys have been asking questions about it. And I just feel like I kind of want to talk about it because I did drop some hints about it in the past couple of videos. I also love that I'm a YouTuber and like most YouTubers are like, I dropped some hints and I just like dropped a music video. And I'm like, no, I dropped some hints about me crying on my birthday and now I'm about to drop some childhood trauma on Vlogmas day 1. Welcome. Hope you're having a ho-ho Christmas beats. I do want to mention that my birthday was shitty but amazing. So it was like so shitty and emotional and I cried multiple times throughout the day. I have you guys to thank for it. Honestly, the two saving graces of my birthday that day was that bath and you guys, this is not an emotional moment. We're not gonna get like wheezy queasy, like I couldn't have done it without you guys. Sorry. But you guys did tag me in a lot of photos on my Instagram and I was like reading through them and I didn't want to like them yet. So if I haven't liked it, it's not because I haven't seen it or I don't appreciate it. It's because when I like it, I feel the need to like respond because I don't want to be like, oh, she saw it, but she didn't even say thank you. That's rude, right? And I'm just super emotional right now that I feel like if I even go and look at 2 more right now in this moment, I will bust out crying and I will end up voice memoing you like a 50-minute voice memo of like just emotional stuff that you don't need to hear right now. So when I get my brain cells together, I'm gonna go through them in a much happier mood and just like really soak it in. I love you guys. Thank you for like being there for me on my birthday. Continuing on. Yeah, no, my birthday was so emotional. So at around 10:30 p.m. on November 26th, which is an hour and a half before my birthday, yes, very accurate, I decided to FaceTime my sweet, loving sister, who's honestly so patient. I don't know how she puts up with me. And I just wanted to call her at 10:30 p.m. just being like, you know, wanted to talk to her and get her opinion on what it feels like to lose your youth, you know? What is that feeling like, dear sister? She's older than me. And so I called her, and then I went on this really weird emotional roller coaster where I proceeded to cry my eyeballs out and tell her childhood trauma that even she, living in the same house as me for a majority of my childhood, did not know that I was experiencing. And then yesterday happened. And yesterday was intense. I was a mom for a day. I literally had a kid. I had a baby for 24 hours and this baby was not a real baby. So how was this the most difficult video that I've ever filmed? I could not get into it. It felt like it was an emotional thing. I wanted to consciously feel no emotion towards the act of being a parent because I was so grossed out by this baby. And now, before you cancel me and unsubscribe, it's not like I think the baby's gross or like I think babies in general are gross. Like I think, yes, they fart and they poo and they like have those cute little tiny hands, but I have a fear of tiny hands. But it was like envisioning me as a parent was gross. I just didn't want to have the power to inflict any emotional trauma on another human being.
You don't want it to feel what you feel.
Yeah. And I feel like nobody like goes into that thinking that like that's their goal. But then also like sometimes they do it and they don't even, I guess I just realized a lot of things the past couple of months that are not normal about my childhood, and I'm just gonna like tell you guys some small stories about what happened when I was younger, and maybe you guys can relate, maybe you can't, maybe this is just entertainment purposes because like everybody else is like super happy about Christmas and Vlogmas and I'm just crying for 23 minutes. So hi, welcome. So when I was younger, there was this one time where I was really emotional, and I think it was like during the 9th grade. I want to say it was the 9th grade because the 9th grade was really rough for me and I was being really bullied. And when I completely disassociate myself from when I was living in Atlanta and when I was living in LA, a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, what do you mean? Like, did you change because you moved to LA? Like, suddenly you're so cycle and you forget your roots? It's not like that. When I was in Atlanta, I don't even know if that was me, if that makes any sense. I felt like I was never good enough for, and it's not even for the world, it was just for one person. I want to say a good 17 to 18 years of my life was just trying to fit this mold that this one specific person wanted me to be. The shittiest thing was like their vision of what they wanted from me was constantly changing. And so this mold was constantly changing and I would just have to literally turn myself into jello. It was always different. Sometimes like this person would make new friends and suddenly all they cared about was having like this very, very sophisticated a family unit image, and then they would make new friends next month, and then all they cared about was being like the fun and family and like full of comedians. And, like the next month they would be like, we want to be intellectuals. And so it was really confusing for me because I didn't know if I wanted to do those things or if I wanted to do those things so that this person would love me. Like there are certain parts that I'm like, that was me. Like I did some stupid shit and I'm like, that was you, girl. But then a lot of it was, did I make these decisions like for myself or for someone else to approve of me? Do you have that feeling? I know you guys have that feeling, or at least some of you guys, because I saw it in the comments. You felt like when you were a kid, you can't be a kid and you have to be an adult. I feel like as you get older, like I'm like adulting now and I'm like, damn, life is hard, right? But it's really shitty to be like 9 years old and know about or hear about all of these adult things that you have no control over. You can't go out and make money, or you can't go and fix their relationship problems. You can't do these things because you're 9. You're 9 years old, and so you have no power to help or change anything. For the past 9 years, all you know is this person, and you just want this person to be happy. And so, like, what do? Like, you can't do anything. So you just sit there and you're just worried that they're mad at you. Or like, you'll come home and you don't know. You don't know if they're mad today or they're happy today. You just want them to be happy. So you're trying to do all of these things to make them happy. And some of it includes, like, not being a kid. This progressed even when I got older. When I was in high school, there was like this one day that I remember so vividly. I believe it was in the 9th grade. I was being like heavily bullied in school, and I felt like something was wrong with me because with my family, I felt like I was constantly trying to get better at this one specific thing, and then they'd be like, never mind, I want you to get better at this, and then I'd try that really hard, and then they'd be like, oh, I'll change my mind, do this. So I just had this feeling of, oh shit, like I keep sucking at everything. And then at school, I was getting bullied. And like 9th grade was especially hard for me. So like in my head, because that's happening at home, obviously you're not stupid. You're gonna bring the same beliefs to school. And I felt like, hey, it's me, I'm the problem. And I was getting bullied, and that's not really the point. It was just one day I was coming home, and you know that feeling where if you're on the school bus or like if you're getting a ride home, you like don't want anyone else to see you cry, especially the kids, the other kids. And so you're just waiting for that sweet relief of like opening your home front door so that you could just cry. So I'm so excited. I open the front door and I see this person, they're sitting there and they look so stressed, right? And I'm like, oh shit. If I say anything about my day or like what's been happening with me, I'm evil. I almost felt like I would be this disgusting person. I'd be the worst person to like almost like kick someone when they're down, but I was down too, you know? And so I ran upstairs into my room, and while I was doing this, it's very alarming for like a high school kid to just like run upstairs to their room without like saying something annoying. I was like, I just like don't want to talk, whatever, school's lame. And I remember like trying to force back my tears in my voice while I was saying it because I didn't want this person to feel like, oh, I wonder if something happened. And I went to my room and I closed the door and I went into my closet and I started bawling my eyes out. But again, I didn't want them to hear me. And I'm like a really loud crier because I felt like if they heard me, then it's like I'm making their day worse. Like, you know, when your mouth gets really big because you're trying to overcompensate, like your mouth is overcompensating for the lack of noise coming out. So your mouth is like, and I'm doing that and this person knocks on my bedroom door and I hear it and I don't want them to see me crying because again, I just feel like I'm like the worst thing that happened to them and like this is just gonna make it all worse. And so I'm sitting there and I'm trying to say in like a normal voice, hold on, while I'm like crying with my mouth all the way open and I'm like panicking because any second now they're gonna turn the knob and come in if I don't say anything because they're gonna be like, what is she doing? And so I'm like trying to scream, hold on, and in a sheer panic, I think I got lockjaw. I'm pretty sure I broke my jaw that day. And so like that made me panic even more because first of all, they could still come in and now I have like this incredibly weird jaw movement that's like clicking now. There's no climactic point to this. Like they didn't catch me crying or anything. I don't know why this like memory is ingrained into my brain and I think about it. Like now I don't think about it in such sadness. I think about it with like, wow, that day that I got lockjaw, but I was alone in my closet in high school because I got bullied. That's a weird twist, you know? Like when someone says I got lockjaw in high school, you're like, you little hoe. But like not even like that. This person made me feel like I couldn't be close to anybody, even other family members. I would go to church and I would go to like an aunt's house afterwards and then I would come home and I would talk about my day and I had like a really good day. I had a lot of fun and we did a lot of cool things and I like as a kid all you want to do is talk about it because you're like, oh my god, like guess what I ate and did today. And I would talk about it and this person wouldn't say anything at the time, but they just like their body language and they would just stop talking. Like they just wouldn't say much. Like they would just kind of nod and like give me a half smile and I would just go on and on about how happy I was and then I started realizing that I'm not making them happy because I'm happy about spending time with somebody else. And so then I would, like, over time I would learn to either not talk about it or to, like, get into the car and be like, like, they're so annoying. I hate spending time with them when in reality, like, I had a fucking blast. And then over time, I just stopped hanging out with them, like other family members and just anybody else. Because I felt like I was hurting this person's feelings. And I felt like I was choosing all of these people over this person. And I would invite this person to like come and, you know, go to these lunches and dinners and they didn't want to. I felt like I was in a position where if I go, then I'm just being, okay, well, I choose them over you because I'm going to go eat lunch with them, not you. And you're not going. And so then I would just stop going. I'm always so jealous of people who are like, oh yeah, my family relationship is really, really rough and it sucks. But like the adults just kind of like keep it to themselves. If you have like two aunts who are like fighting, a lot of the times they don't like get their kids involved. And I always thought that like that was very admirable. But for my childhood, it was kind of like I always knew which adults were fighting with which adults all the time. And it wasn't good because like I'm a kid and these are all my family, so it's like I should love all of these people, but I ended up really hating some of them and I ended up doing some really shitty things. Like when I was younger, I called my dad. I called my dad while he was in Korea and I'm like I'm like 8. I called him and I hadn't talked to him in such a long time because he had gone to Korea and like for some reason I never talked to him on the phone. And I just remember telling him like, your side of the family are all bitches. And I can't forget like hearing his voice like waver because he was crying but he didn't want me to know that he was crying, and so he laughed and he said, why? What'd they do now? You know? And the only reason I did that was because this one person told me that they were hurting their feelings. And I wanted to protect this person. I wanted them to stop hurting them. And I didn't know what to do. It just felt like if I did something wild or crazy, all of these people are ganging up on this one person and nobody's saying anything, and so I need to say something, and I need to say it very firmly because I'm a kid and like nobody takes kids seriously, so I need to lay down the law. And like that's all I remember, just being like, I'm gonna lay down the fucking law with my father. I just feel so shitty about it. But at the time, I felt so good about it because I felt like I was protecting this person I love. Because of that, I just ended up really just having this one person in my life for so long. This one person wasn't a very stable person, and they didn't really provide enough protection against like things that just every kid deals with growing up, like bullying and insecurities and stuff. And sometimes they made those worse. Now that I'm like grown, I feel like I still have a lot of things that I didn't know that go back to that. Even now thinking about it, it doesn't seem like a weird childhood. That to me just seems like just a childhood. I don't look at that and say, whoa, something weird was going on. It's hard for me to think that way because I guess that's all I ever knew. And then I started doing weird things when I grew up. And then I was like, wait a second, why am I doing this? And like nobody else is doing this and everybody looks at me weird when I do this. It's like really small, weird things that I do, which is I blurt out, I'm sorry, randomly. Like I'll literally just be breathing and I'll just blurt out, I'm sorry, to anybody in the room. It could literally be the Starbucks barista and I feel this intense need to just blurt out, I'm sorry, and nothing has happened yet. People always thought it was like an overly polite thing that I do, just like, oh, maybe she's just like hashtag Southern manners. I don't know. But it's because I'm trying to manage people's emotions. So a lot of the times kids who weren't able to really be like, have those kid emotions when they were younger and they had to kind of like be an adult in some way, shape, or form, not saying that I was like so mature or I'm the most mature, even now I'm not. But it's, you end up like doing this thing where you try to kind of soften people's emotions. Like you try to say I'm sorry before something happens just so that they get less angry or they don't get angry with you. And my fiance originally when we first met thought it was weird, but like thought it was like this weird quirky thing that I do. And he's like, maybe that's just how Americans are. With that also comes with this really weird thing I do, which I notice a lot, and it only comes out with very, very close people. Constantly, I will ask them, are you mad at me? And I don't even notice it on a day-to-day basis. My fiance has been letting me know now so that I can like think of what triggered this. It'll just be me in the bedroom just cleaning, and then he'll be outside in the kitchen cleaning. And then I'll feel this need to run out of the bedroom into the kitchen and say, are you mad at me? So he's like, what? What do you mean? I'm just cleaning. And I'd be like, no, but are you mad? And he'd be like, no, why would I be mad? And I'd be like, are you sure you're not mad? Yeah. And so I don't notice a lot, but the last time I really noticed it was like a massive problem was when my dad, my sister, and my fiance were all here, which was like literally 2 weeks ago. And I just was going around the room like, Dad, are you mad at me? Auntie, are you mad at me? Babe, are you mad at me? And they're all like, what are you talking about? I hope to God that you don't feel that. But like, do you? Let me know in the comments if you do at all. So those are kind of like the smaller things that I'm dealing with, other than like the lack of hashtag self-compassion. I feel like I'm okay to talk about it now because like, trust me, 6 months ago, I would never talk about this. A year ago, I would never talk about this. I just have a lot more understanding of what's going on with me. So maybe this will help you guys. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for an article, and it's an article about emotional abuse, because I feel like a lot of the times you don't really know when you're being emotionally abused. And that's such a scary word. Like, it sounds a lot more intense. When you hear that, it sounds like you had the worst life. They never ever did anything good for you. But that's not the case. And it took me so long because I didn't even know that that was like a thing. I just thought that was like everybody's childhood. I just hope that before you guys comment your opinion, I know everybody has really good intentions, but sometimes a lot of people have this feeling with family. It's like you only get one and you do everything for family. And although I agree with a lot of things of that nature, sometimes it's about like healing yourself. The last time I talked about anything this deep, someone commented saying, well, a lot of people commented, was like, you only have one of this family member. It's not really up to me to figure it out. It's just really up to me to figure myself out first and like go through the process. If you guys have been watching me from the beginning, like ever since I started talking to you guys, it went from being really, really bad to good to bad to really good and then really bad and just back and forth. And it was like these cycles, right? And I wish I had learned this or read about this before, because I feel like these stupid cycles would have not have happened, because they've just been causing so much more like just struggle. But I don't think it's about fixing the person. Like, it's not about fixing the other person. It's not really about fixing your relationship with that person. And it's not even about fixing yourself, which I think is the hardest part. So like for the longest time I was like, oh, I have to fix myself. And then it went on to, oh, okay, I have to fix this person or fix this relationship. And it just like kept happening. But like, that's not the point. I guess just realizing that, hey, like maybe some things did happen was like a huge step for me. If I can even like say that I progressed, right? And like progress. I feel like I felt like it was a huge difference from not really knowing, like from all the other years to like recently. I feel so different. You guys also wanted a relationship update, so you guys are just getting a whole ass life update on a platter. Welcome to Vlogmas. I'm just kidding. But I think it's just like a big step, realizing and accepting. That's what our counselor says. Acceptance is the first step. I feel like a weight has lifted. I feel so much more relieved. At least I feel like I know what's going on. And now I can like tweak things in my life. Like, I don't need to be asking people if they're mad at me, because I'm perfect. I'm just kidding. And again, it's like one of those shitty situations where I really hope that nobody else feels the way I felt. But if you do, hopefully like this helped in any way, or maybe it didn't, but maybe it did. Just like focus on the positive. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and yes, every single person will be getting a refund because it was horrendous. I'm so sorry. It was all over the place. It was just me trying to get it out while I kind of had some sort of a cohesive thought, which like rarely happens. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you don't experience it, but like let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we're gonna be like Vlogmas out. We're gonna be like decorating the Christmas tree. Vlogmas.